What's up, guys? My name is Jay, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. In the first video I posted, I mentioned that I am probably gonna talk about theater. Well, today we're going to talk about theater. Particularly, what are my dream roles? I have had a lot of theater experiences throughout my high school career, and I've also had a couple of professional opportunities. I have been acting since I was about in the 5th grade. I did quit in the 7th grade because I did not get along with my director very well. There was only one director in the middle and high school level, and she did a show called Clump, where the entire script was basically just saying clump, 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 clump. And honestly, if I was watching it, I probably would have left, because acting it was really honestly annoying. There was no storyline at all. And I really did enjoy acting, but doing this show was not very fun for me. I played 2 characters, neither of which I felt had a purpose in the script. Then again, I don't think any of the characters had a purpose in the script. After lockdown, I went back to theater. We had moved towns, and I was friends with this girl at the time that was very into theater. And I joined, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Theater is what brings me the most joy, and I look for every opportunity I can to be in theater. Someday I would love to be professional, either as an actor or somewhere in stage management. I did a lot of different shows in high school. I acted in almost every single show there. At the time I was in high school. I was the head of hair and makeup, and I was also acting in the same show. And so I had to do all of my makeup at home and just make sure I brought my makeup bag with me. And I had a cheek where I couldn't do any makeup because the mic tape wouldn't stick to the makeup. And so I would just be walking into school with turtle makeup. I got a lot of weird looks, but honestly, it was so worth it. And I loved helping people with their makeup. Most of the cast had no idea how to do makeup at all. And so teaching them was very interesting, and I really enjoyed that experience. In professional theater, most of the time, you do your own makeup. Granted, I've only worked with one company, but that is what I have seen in the professional world. I also got to be a director of a show called Trip to the Moon. I was one of 5 directors. It was very interesting to do. We each got assigned a scene, and this is for a school project, but we got to direct actual actors, and it was a really fun experience. I'm not built to be a director, is what I've learned. I am more geared towards being an actor or somewhere in stage management. I am very, very new to stage management, which I will talk to you about in a minute. I've graduated high school since, but the year before I graduated high school, I was able to be a part of the youth ensemble for a musical theater company. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. At the time, I was questioning my role in theater, and it made me love acting. because the show before, I was not enjoying myself as much as I normally did. It started to make me question if it was just the people I worked for in high school, or what was it. But working for that company was amazing. The professional company was really awesome to work with, and they were so nice to the locals, and I felt like I learned a lot. The director was really nice, and I very much loved the stage management team. Just working with them as a whole was an amazing experience, and I loved acting. And I learned that some shows aren't always the best, but it's always worth it. After high school, I got to work for the same musical theater company as the intern assistant stage manager, and I loved working with that team of stage management. It was incredible. They are some of the nicest humans you will ever meet, and they made me really love working as a stage manager. And before this, I was going to be an actor, but now I'm questioning whether I want to be an actor or work with stage management. Working as a stage manager was a lot of really hard work, and I have a lot of respect for all of the stage managers out there, particularly the ones I work for. They are incredible at what they do. And we worked outside at an amphitheater, and we had to move furniture from the dressing rooms to the stage, which was a little bit hard, getting everything up there at first to set up for the actors. But everything was worth it, and they made me feel valued and that I was included in the company. And they made me feel needed, which was very, very nice. It's the greatest feeling, at least to me, to feel like I am a necessary part of the team. And yeah, the stage management team probably could have done their jobs without me, but I think I made their lives easier, which made me very happy. I just love working there. So I have a lot of experience in theater. However, there's some dream roles acting-wise that I would really, really love to do. The first one is JD from Heathers. He is my all-time favorite character. It was one of the first musicals I was ever introduced to, and the show as a whole means a lot to me because it really introduced me to what musical theater was. And I particularly like JD because the musical depicts him as human. They give him a motive of why he is doing the things that he is doing without justifying it. And I think that would be just a really interesting role to play, of someone who has a lot of false negative beliefs about society and do the wrong things for what the character believes to be the right reasons, even though they honestly aren't. Just the different belief system would be very interesting to play. The next character I would really love to play is Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice. I have something to confess. I have never seen the movie, but I was able to see the show live. It was honestly a magical experience. Beetlejuice is my favorite musical, And I think it'd be very interesting to play Beetlejuice, again because of the different belief system that he has. And he does everything he does because he was so lonely, and he manipulates to have people in his life because he feels so alone. And he's also able to do all of these crazy paranormal things that would just be so fun to play. And he also has some very funny songs that I think is very fun to sing and I would love to perform. The next character that I would also love to play is Lydia from, again, Beetlejuice. I think it's so interesting how she feels alone like Beetlejuice and connects with him somewhat well, and a lot of her actions are because of how lonely she feels and how she desperately just wants her mom back. And that's why she does everything that she does in the musical. But it's also interesting to see how the same reason, the same motive between Lydia and Beetlejuice have very different outcomes of what they are doing to feel less alone. And I just think finding that difference and discovering why people do what they do would be so interesting to play. Another character that I would really love to play is a show from the 60s. I believe it was originally performed in 1959. I could be mistaken on that. I'll put the correct year on screen. This character from, I don't think I can say this on YouTube, but something Yankees. Their name is Lola, and they work for the person that Joe sells his soul to. And I think that she is a very fascinating character because she is forced to do these evil things even though she doesn't necessarily want to. And it's later revealed that she's her own person and doesn't always agree what Mr. Applegate wants her to do. And she falls in love with Joe. And it's just very fun to watch. She realizes that loving someone sometimes means letting them go so that they can be the happiest. Because Joe is married and she knows that he needs to be with the person that he loves. And so she helps him get back to his wife. And I just think that is so beautiful. The last person I'm going to talk about is Thomas Jefferson from Hamilton. I think historically he is very fascinating. And in the musical, he's fascinating as well. I think how he interacts with Alexander Hamilton is very interesting. In the musical, Aaron Burr is painted as the bad guy, and he absolutely is historically, and in the musical, what he did was definitely not okay. But I think the person who hurt Alexander Hamilton the most in the musical was Thomas Jefferson, because he hurt everything that Alexander Hamilton really cared about, which was his reputation and his legacy. He slandered his name all because he was a political opponent. And honestly, I feel like destroying someone's whatever they care about the most is one of the most painful things that you can do to someone. On the other hand, in the musical, he is shown as despising Aaron Burr for what he did. When Aaron Burr gone from this earth too quickly, Thomas Jefferson was upset in the musical, which I find fascinating. They were rivals and hated each other. But Thomas Jefferson still didn't want Alexander Hamilton to die. The world was wide enough for Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton to exist in the same world. And I think finding that dynamic and understanding that character a little better would be very fascinating and exciting to play. That's it from me today, guys. I will see you in the next video. And in the meantime, go live your dreams. And go on a voyage. We got this, guys.